Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cinematic Trinity with me, Michael.
Me, Tulip.
And me, Kieran.
And today we're going to be talking about the Oscar nominations because they came out, I think, a few weeks ago now. So basically, we're going to run through not every single category, but we're going to go through.
I don't think we'd have time for that.
No, yeah. I mean, to sort of preface it, we haven't seen every single film that's been nominated, but we do probably have a good chunk to say about what has been nominated that we have seen. And so we're just going to go through all the main sort of categories for us and go through who we think is going to win each category and just have a sort of general discussion, really.
Chit chat in between.
Yeah. So I think
sounds like a good idea.
So just to start off, first of all, we'll go for actor in a leading role.
So the nominations are.
So we're actually.
So Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell, Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Paul Mescal in After Sun, and then Bill Nighy in Living. So.
Discuss.
I mean, sort of out of those films, I've seen Elvis and Banshees. So I mean, if I was to pick sort of, I think the win's going to be Brendan Fraser, just given how much hype he's had.
I think it has had.
I think he deserves it. He's had he's had a couple rough years.
Yeah,
I think this is kind of, to see him back and, really shining again is really nice to see.
Yeah.
So.
And he just seems so grateful. Like whenever I've seen clips of him talking about the film or just, he's like constantly looks like he's in tears because he's just so like happy that he's like back and
he's really taken aback by how much love the fan base give him and stuff like so for anything he's in, like he has fans who don't want to quit on him and
absolutely
he really likes that. So I think he'll be the one to win it. But I
definitely think he will. I think that Colin Farrell was good in Banshees, but I don't think it was Oscar winning good. Maybe.
I think it was a really good showcase of his kind of acting. So I think he, another year he might, be a contender there, but I feel like there is just too much build up around Brendan Fraser for
because even like Austin Butler as well, like he was good. He was like one of the best bits about Elvis.
For us he was the whole film, wasn't he? It was just him.
Yeah, good performance. He really channeled him quite well. And when you hear the sort of behind the scenes stories about him meeting Elvis's family and how uncanny it kind of was for them to see him as Elvis, and I think his daughter, I think Elvis's daughter or someone else just gave him a massive hug type of thing because it would be oh my god, you're like my dad basically. So
I think what a shame.
He did an incredible job, and obviously I think it's still affecting him now, the work that he put into it, because he can't get out of that
voice.
Everybody's saying it's changed.
You can I think it's a testament to them that there's so many good candidates in this year that, that they can just all be competing against each other for this.
Because you sort of looked into what After Sun was, because I don't think it's come out in the UK yet, or I want to say maybe it has and we just missed it, but
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I did have a look at what it was. So this is so basically a girl goes on holiday with her dad, and her dad is a bit troubled basically and is struggling, and it's basically just about them on the week's holiday really, and sort of how she is very observant of his struggles that he's going through, and then the dad's Paul Mescal is like, whoa, I didn't realise that my 11-year-old daughter would even understand what's going on, but she does. And then it's just a bit about that. And then Living with Bill Nighy is a remake of a Japanese film called Ikiru, I think it was called, and it's basically about somebody who received a terminal diagnosis and trying to live their life for the first time after 30 years of monotony and 9-to-5 job. But again, I've not heard of it until actually I saw this Oscar nomination, which I
remember seeing it advertised. But it's sort of one of those ones that probably was good to watch, but sort of got swept under the rug.
He probably did.
Maybe it's other things coming out at the same time.
I'm not sure it even came to our local cinema, did it?
I don't know. I
don't remember seeing it there.
No, I think we would have known about it if it was at our local cinema. But
Just one of those ones that kind of. I mean, some of the Oscar ones generally do just get kind of swept under the rug, don't they?
Yeah,
I think they do, and I think that's because they're not necessarily made for the Oscars, but because maybe they're a bit too heavy as a day-to-day general watching film. Like, it's, you only watch it because you think, oh, this is an Oscar film, I must see this, you know.
It was like that with The Whale, because I wanted to go see that, but again, I think like because of like staggered release dates between the UK and the USA, they get stuff like before us like quite a few times, and I think they did with The Whale because everyone was talking about it, and it's been like, when are we getting it? I want to go see that, but even
and then
it
also
almost
almost makes you feel like you've missed it at the cinema.
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, because it was a bit like that with Puss in Boots. It's oh wait, has that film not been and gone? I thought that we just missed it, but actually it's not even come out yet. Well, it's out in a couple of days, isn't it? But
yeah, Puss in Boots. Can't
wait to see that.
So moving on to actor in a supporting role.
So nominations: Brendan Gleeson for Banshees, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch in The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan, Banshees of Inisherin, and I really do not want to butcher this name.
I think
Kieran.
Ki Hu Kwang?
Or is it? Would it be K? Sure. K Hu Kwan?
Maybe.
Maybe we should YouTube how he says the name. But he is in From Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, he's the husband.
He's the husband, but most well known for being in the Goonies
and Indiana Jones. He was short round.
So again,
was he short round?
Yeah. So again, this is somebody, he was a child actor and then sort of went away for so many years, and again, he's really grateful as well. Like, you see a lot of things, and he's like, this is his first Oscar nomination, and he's like, forever I'm going to be Oscar nominated actor, and he just thinks that that's fantastic. And I think that's, you know, because I remember when we watched a video about what the Oscars is and how it sort of lost its touch and how it's not, you know, that thing that everybody must watch every year, but there's those small moments like when Parasite won Best Picture that makes it good again. And I feel like this is maybe one, and the same with Brendan Fraser as well. It's one of those moments where it's like special that person's up for an Oscar or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to go through, I mean, we obviously talked about Banshees in our last episode.
Yeah. So. I mean, I think Barry Keoghan was brilliant in Banshees. I don't know what it is about him, but I just think he's brilliant. I
think in terms of what he was doing, like, it's quite a sort of like a transformative quality he has, because like we saw, I think probably the first thing I ever saw him in was Chernobyl. He was like basically this sort of soldier in the cleanup crew.
Yes.
So like quite a minor role, but what he was saying, he was quite like a memorable character, and like the lens you saw his like story through was quite unique in the show. And then he was in the Batman as well last year as
he was
unnamed prisoner, but technically the Joker. So it's sort of how you can go from being like a small part in Chernobyl to being like,
he was in Dunkirk as well.
God, was he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was in Dunkirk. Yeah, one of the soldiers on the ground.
So it's sort of like probably an actor you've probably seen in like loads of things and like never taken much.
Yeah, you probably know his face, but never be like, oh, that's Barry Keoghan. But I feel like I will forever know his name now.
Yeah,
after
and then,
that film.
And you watch Banshees and like his character's like he's like a memorable character, like this tragic character, but then also like say completely different from what he's probably done like before as well, you know.
Diversity.
Yes.
That's what makes actors good sometimes. Yeah. Actors and actresses, just a bit of diversity and doing different things. And I really don't want Brendan Gleeson to get this either. I'm pretty sure that he won't, because there's obviously better performances in there, but I don't think that he should win it.
Because Brendan Gleeson, he was good. He was good in the film. It's definitely. Nothing against like his performance or anything, because I mean I like Brendan Gleeson anyway.
Obviously we love him. You know, he's in whatever. But
Harry Potter, the main thing that you know him from.
All I could think of was Paddington 2. That's what I was really thinking of. But yeah, either Barry Keoghan, I want to win.
Yeah. I know you both really loved Barry Keoghan in that, and you know he was, you know, really showcased what he can do in that. And I hope this is kind of like a good starting point for him to get those bigger roles and more kind of things in future.
Yeah.
And I know you weren't a fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I feel like the actor that played the husband, he was he really made that film for me, because I enjoyed it a lot more than you guys did. So I would actually be quite happy if he won it this year.
Yeah.
Because
I'd be happy if he won it, because I know that he'd be grateful. Do you know what I mean?
I think for me it's between him and Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher his name again because
no, let's not. Yeah. So actress in a leading role.
Leading world.
So again, nominees: Kate Blanchett in Tar, Anna de Armas, Blonde, Andrea Riseborough to Leslie, Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for, again, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So
yeah, so I think Michelle Yeoh, because hers is the first sort of like Asian nomination, isn't it, in like 80 plus years,
Asian
isn't it?
female.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I do think that she was. Do you know, when I think about Everything Ever All at Once, and I did a TikTok video recently about this. When I think about each element separately, like when I think about the acting, I think, do you know what? There was some really good acting in it. And when I think about all like the editing of all the clips and when they're being pushed backwards, I think, God, yeah, that's really good, and all these bits, and I think, yeah, that's brilliant. But just the whole film collectively, like I just didn't click with it. Like maybe I need to watch it again, but. Again, that's actually the only film I've seen from this, but I really want to watch Tar.
Oh yeah, because you read into that.
Yeah, it's about she's in Kate Blanchett. She's like a composer and conductor, and she's conducting this philharmonic orchestra, and it just sounds like my kind of film.
As a music lover.
So I feel like I really want to watch that one. So
I mean, to be fair, like Kate Blanchett as well, like, she's another one of them actors who like very transformative, like she's never like the same in like every role she plays, like she's Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, and then she does like, I think she played like Bob Dylan in a film once, because there was like a film where they did, Christian Bale was in it, one of your favourite actors. He was like him, and like basically there was like a sort of anthology type of thing, so different actors played Bob Dylan, and Kate Blanchett was one of them. So again, sort of does all these different things. She was the monkey in the Pinocchio film, in Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah. We did see that, didn't we, in the little documentary.
So again, talented, and again, I need to watch the film to sort of comment on like
we
her
need to watch
performance
the film. We were going to watch Blonde, weren't we?
Yeah,
but we decided not to, just after all the
controversy,
terrible things that were said about it.
I think by like what you hear about Blonde, it is definitely like Anna de Armas, like there's nothing wrong with her in the film. It's just sort of like the actual core of the movie, and like how it's not really based on a true story. It's based on a book, which was very like, I guess harsh is like the word about
incorrect, not historically accurate.
Yeah, so it really paints
derogatory.
really paints like Marilyn Monroe as like this really tragic, like just did not have a happy life at all, like for a whole whole duration basically. But yeah, again, what you hear, Anna de Armas was quite good. So I mean, she's been in like quite a few like up and coming films. So I would I kind of like to see her win just because I like her as like an actress. But then if it's like sort of, if the film itself wasn't like good and you don't like what the film stands for, maybe not like the best choice for winning, than winning an Oscar.
But with this one, I think Michelle Yeoh will get it.
Yeah, because I mean, to be fair, I know Michelle Williams as an actress as well. I know The Fabelmans is the film about, like, it's a Steven Spielberg.
We'll talk about that when we come to directing.
It's a Steven Spielberg film. It's a Steven Spielberg film, that's all I'll say. But I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah. Let's move on to actress in a supporting role. So 2 more from Everything Everywhere All at Once. It seems like the entire cast has been nominated. So Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Sue. So Jamie Lee Curtis, this is her first Oscar nomination, which I think is lovely. And then Kerry Condon, Banshees of Inisherin. So again, the whole cast has basically been nominated. Hong Chow in The Whale, and Angela Bassett from Wakanda Forever. The most recent
a Marvel film making its way into Best Supporting Actor.
This is actress, babe.
Actress. Sorry.
But I don't know why Jamie Lee Curtis is in there. She was good, but I don't think she was like.
She was in the film, but she wasn't in very much.
Kieran was about to say something then. Come on.
Sorry, I won't cut you off here. Go ahead.
I've got nothing interesting to say. She was good in the film, but I don't think she was a standout role for me. I think Stephanie Sue, I assume she played the daughter.
Yeah.
I would say she was more standout than Jamie Lee Curtis for me.
By quite a stretch.
So if it is another Everything Everywhere All at Once win, I hope it's Stephanie Sue rather than
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis there. Not to take away from her acting, but I just feel like
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do like Jamie Lee Curtis, don't we? But not for this.
No, not for this.
I don't really know.
I think it was an interesting role.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she's been nominated for. I'm glad that she is
Yeah.
now Oscar-nominated actress.
Yes,
but
Yeah.
it's a bit like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. It's like, why couldn't you have just been nominated for literally any
Why
of
didn't
his
he win
other
it for, like,
films?
Wolf of Wall Street or
Right,
something?
because that is honestly I love that film so much.
Yeah.
I can't believe they took it off Netflix. But
Because I mean,
Yeah.
Kerry Condon as well, so she is Colin Farrell's sister in the film. So again, she was quite good. Not in it like as much as like the other characters there, but still made like a good, like a good impact and was a good.
I really liked her in that film.
Yeah,
I would be quite happy if she won this category. Cause
Yeah.
I think she really did add a lot to the film. Like you'd say that she wasn't in it much, but the time that she was in it, it was quite, she really, her kind of.
she stood out, didn't
acting,
she?
yeah.
I don't think it was like, oh, she's the sister. She's just this bit part.
Yeah.
She was still there, wasn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah, like
her voice was still heard.
Her role is sort of this like anchor for Colin Farrell while he's going through this rough time, and then she like eventually like leaves, because she has her own like wants and desires and stuff. So it's sort of this, she's a good like point of like conflict in the film, and like sort of very good presence really. And I say she's quite funny as well, like one of the funnier characters in a depressing film. So
Yeah.
quite good.
Yeah. But do we think that Stephanie Sue will get it?
Yeah, I think she's, out of the films we've watched on there, she would be like the most deserving on there.
Who was Angela Bassett in Black Panther?
She is I think like I don't know if it's like Black Panther's mum in it, but like the other like she's like the ruler of Wakanda, I think, while Black Panther's obviously not in anymore.
Right,
so
okay.
Yeah. So moving on to animated feature film. So nominees are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Okay, got this one.
It's a bit of a tongue twister. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. So obviously we've not seen Puss in Boots because it's not out in the
Which is
UK,
such a shame,
but we
'cause
will see it.
yeah,
We are so buzzing to see that film.
I think it's one of those things where you had so much hype for it. That's the one I probably want to say, that needs to win, but because I haven't
We've not
seen
seen it.
it's like I can't.
I've never heard of a film or seen a film, especially kind of an animated kids film, that has had so much hype surrounding it, particularly from a more adult audience.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
everyone at our kind of local cinema is the most buzzed about this specific film,
Yeah.
rather than anything else that's coming out. I think it's the most surreal experience
It's
I've gone
weird.
through with films.
Well, I just feel like it's almost like there's this like cult following of like Shrek and stuff like that. Like it's
100%,
just everybody loves it of our generation, I
Yeah.
think, including us. I feel.
Yeah, very timeless
because
series,
and because it's good. Apparently, everybody's like, oh, this was just going to be rubbish, but now everybody's saying no, this is good, this is quality. So it's like, yes, like get me back into this like world.
So we can't comment on whether it should be the animated winner, but I mean
We're excited.
in terms of the films we have seen, so me and Tulip have watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and then Turning Red.
We didn't mind Turning Red. There was a lot of controversy at the time, which I think we have almost forgotten about because it's just about it's a coming of age story, isn't it? So. And I think there was some controversy at the time saying, we shouldn't really be teaching kids about this and stuff like that, which is ridiculous. But that was an okay film.
It's just your standard, like it's not one of Pixar's like greatest hits, but it's like your standard. I think when you get to like your bog standard Pixar animated film, which is like a good good sort of comedic moments with like a nice like emotional core story.
Yeah,
that's what
it was good,
and
the red pandas, just so cute. But Pinocchio, I think that because this is animated feature film, I just think the stop motion in this is incredible. Like, it's absolutely amazing. Do you not think? And
Yeah.
all the design and everything like that, like, you can just tell it's Guillermo del Toro. It's him all over.
Yeah.
But it's just fantastic. And
Yeah.
as soon as we finished watching it, we'd never actually seen Pinocchio, had we? Like, the original.
I had, but years and years and years ago.
Well, you don't remember it then, so we don't really
Well, I
know
think
the
that's
stuff.
invalid.
May as well
Yeah,
not
if
watched
you've seen it when
at
you were a
all.
baby, then it makes no difference to
know
the
what the
bearing on
original
this
Pinocchio-
film.
Didn't
Yeah.
exist before you were 10 years old.
Yeah. Right, well, anyway,
Yeah.
I've never seen Pinocchio, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But this was brilliant. It was a lovely story, amazing stop motion. I love a bit of stop motion anyway.
Yeah.
So I think just for like the skill
Yeah, no,
that's gone
exactly.
into this, I think that deserves it. Cinematography. So nominees: All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of... What? Bardo, False Chronicle... Oh, sorry, I read that with like the wrong punctuation. Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar.
So, I mean, too bad. That is a list which very much, like, we haven't seen many of the films on. I know,
I've only
like...
seen two.
Which have you seen?
Elvis and All Quiet on the Western Front.
When did you watch All Quiet on the Western Front?
I watched it on my own before work once, but it took me 3 days.
Well, there you go.
But do you know what? I found it a little bit boring.
Right. I mean, it's 3 hours, isn't it?
It is really... I mean, it's brilliant. Like, it's amazing, but I think I had to watch it with, like, the English dub as well, because I was wandering around the house, tidying up and stuff. I was watching it with the English dub, which did take me away from it. I probably should have sat down and watched it properly.
Is this the German?
Yeah.
Yes, right, okay. I have.
You know what we're on about now.
I know of it now. That's fine. I was trying to think in my head what it was, but I couldn't remember, and then I'm just getting like snapshots in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
You definitely know what it is.
I haven't watched it, but I feel like, you know, you said it was 3 hours long, and you know, took you a couple of days to get through. I feel like that is kind of one of the key issues with Oscar nominations. A lot of the time, they're kind of they're critically really good.
Yeah. Practically.
There's a massive difference between the critic's view and you know, like, it's...
Because I know there was one a couple of years ago, I think it was a couple of years ago, with Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread.
I remember that. Oh, yes, yeah.
Because I feel like that one was, like, critically absolutely loved, but anyone that went to see it, because I think I was working at the cinema at the time, just came out and said, oh, it was a little bit boring.
Yeah.
How many times are we going to mention the local cinema?
We used to work at a cinema.
We love our
in case you
local
didn't
cinema.
know.
Did we mention?
Yeah.
That's why we love films, though. You know.
Yeah, no, it is.
But no,
everybody needs to go back to the cinema to keep our local cinemas alive.
Yeah. But no, I think it's like practically, I think it's just as you get older, like just the time for like 3 hour movies, it's just like you really have to fork out like an afternoon, or you have to plan these type of things.
We're saying this like we've got the busiest lives, like we've literally got nothing to do. Kieran's coming round twice a week and we sit around and do nothing. Like, this is what our lives are.
We prepare a podcast to bring to you, our valued viewers. But I mean, yeah, in terms of like the cinematography and like Elvis as well, like again, it is like your standard biopic, but then it does do like some cool things with like the leaps to different like eras of Elvis's like career and stuff.
Would that not be more like editing though?
I think editing and
with all this, you know, it's Elvis walking along the screen and all the lights flashing behind him. Would that not be more editing than actual holding the camera still stuff?
Well, cinematography is like the compositing of like the shots, so what's like in like camera shots and stuff, whereas I think the editing is like the stitching of everything together. Because I remember when it was Bohemian Rhapsody, whenever that Oscars was, that won best editing, but then there are all these videos online basically critiquing like one scene which had about like 20 cuts and it was only like 30 seconds of like screen time. So you're like, how is this getting nominated for best editing when clearly it's not like up to scratch, you know, or compared to like whatever else was nominated that time.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
I guess in terms of like the look of the film, it was, you know, Elvis was quite good to look at. I imagine probably the other films.
Certainly, it wasn't what we were expecting at all.
No.
I think because like there were bits in it, like I know we mentioned a couple of weeks back about the "If I Can Dream" bit of the film being like one of the best bits of the film, because that's actually taken from was it the documentary that they did on Elvis back in the day?
Oh, okay.
To try and I could be completely wrong here. But I feel like it's something they used to try and, you know, bring them back in the spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely like, because there were two different versions I think they filmed of If I Can Dream, because definitely, the one in the film lines up with one of them, I think, more than like the official like music video, because you watch them side by side, they are like slightly different. So I think it was probably, as Kieran said, they sort of were paying attention to like what's previously been filmed and like copying it like sort of not word for word, but sort of shot for shot, you know.
But yeah, because they had that bit in there, and the only other notable one is the one at the end, where it's his last performance, and part of it's Austin Butler, and then it switches over to Elvis at the end, and I feel like that was quite a seamless transition there, and it was kind of a good note to end on.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like it did have quite a strong visual. You can definitely tell why it's amongst this.
And again, that's like Baz Luhrmann as like a director as well. Probably again is more like, because he's not actually the name that comes under the cinematography nomination. That's Mandy Walker, I think. So it's not like actually. But Baz Luhrmann has his sense of direction. He has his own like visual style, but then it's obviously up to the cinematographer to try and bring that vision to what's actually being filmed, you know. So, but no, I'd probably, just because it's one of the ones I've seen Elvis on there, so hopefully it pulls through. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Costume design, forget everything else. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris is on here.
I mean, that's literally a film about clothes, so
absolutely,
you kind of hope.
Absolutely, and 1000% deserves to win. But, oh no, it's not on here. I could have sworn Banshees of Inisherin was on here, and I was going to mention about the jumpers again, but I've already told that story. But yeah, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elvis, Black Panther and Babylon, which I think are all worthy nominations, and particularly Everything Everywhere All at Once. The costume, like, people must have had an absolute field day.
I mean,
with that film.
I'd hate to be like working on that film as like a costume, like the people have to make him and be like, oh yeah, we've got all these multiverse scenes. You need to do one
get in this
dressed up as
costume
this and this and
just
this.
for a 2-second shot of
literally.
them just like walking, taking a step. But so I do. And this is what I mean when I think about this film. Like, when I think about that, like all the costumes, and it's like, you can't fault it, can you, for that?
No, exactly. And I mean, you've got films like, I mean, Elvis obviously on there, because I mean, you've got all these people trying to like recreate Elvis's like iconic looks as well, which you mean, there's a good montage in the film as well, where it's him at like, I think it's when he's in Vegas, and it's like the bits where he's like stretching his arms out, and it's all the different like flashing of like the costumes during the shot. So it's like, you know, it's like, it was like Bohemian Rhapsody again, where it's like all of Freddie Mercury's outfits. It's just your bog standard thing you need to get right when you do like a musical biopic, is you need to get like the look of the
but what would you like prefer to win? Something that's a recreation of an iconic look, or a completely original look that is now like iconic? Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's
both have merits, because, you know, is one thing kind of, you know, remaking the costume. It's another thing to kind of recreate the entire style. So I feel like, you know, they did an amazing job in Elvis in helping Austin Butler kind of fit Elvis's role, but also still being kind of, you know, his own kind of personality, if you will. Yeah,
but I mean, to be fair, like, it's one of those things where like, when it's like you're like a unique visual style as well, like the costumes and Anything Everywhere All at Once, like when
Anything Everywhere.
Oh god, when it's that bit when you see like the I don't know, it's not really, I don't know if you saw the spoiler, but when you see like the black hole, I'll call it, or like it's a donut, isn't it?
Bagel.
The bagel,
Oh yeah,
the outfits there, like I can remember them.
Bagel.
I love a bagel.
Well, I can remember like the looks there, like with what her daughter's wearing and what she's wearing, and it's like this weird like cult-esque uniform and stuff. But then like literally every flash into like the multiverse, and when you say it's like this brief like montage of every single like version of her, and it's like, how many people had to make outfits for all of these? You know, it's just mental.
Mad when you think about
it. But like you say that, but then like if they didn't do an individual outfit for each one, then that scene would
exactly
its value. So you know, it really goes to show how important costume design is in films. So.
It's the unsung hero of the films. Like, a lot of films would be nothing without like good sets and good costumes and good makeup.
That's why it gets awards though. That's why like things like the Oscars are a good thing, because it helps to highlight each component of a film and then reward whoever like respectively, you know, for their contribution. So What do we actually decide is going to win on that?
I think it probably will be Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I think it's
that.
just lovely that Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris is on there.
So You Can Dream if Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Yeah,
we'll probably think
it's in my
be.
eyes.
Yeah.
Directing, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness.
Are we going to jump right into what our gripe is with The Fabelmans?
Yeah.
I think it's stupid, don't we? We've not seen it, so we're not judging this on the actual film. It's just the premise.
We haven't seen it, but yeah, the premise of the film is it's a biopic about Steven Spielberg, how he became like a filmmaker.
It's a semi-autobiographical film. It's not an exact depiction of his life.
It's a film about Steven Spielberg growing up, directed by Steven Spielberg. So we sort of like me and Kieran had this thing where it's a bit like vain, really. I
feel like it's very vain. It's very arrogant to be trying to make a film about your life, and I don't know.
Because Steven Spielberg is one of the most famous directors, and he has done like incredible films, but it's just that thing where like it sounds really harsh, but it would make sense this film being around if he was dead, and it's like this is the story of how Steven
or if it was somebody else saying, I want to pay tribute to you, let me make this film, sit down and let's do it in like a interview style and tell me all about your life. But what I said was that if he cares so much about filmmaking and, up and coming directors, then he should have said, okay, look, I want to make this film about my life, and find a young up and coming director who's maybe not got the big break that they need, and let them direct it and, mentor them for a bit, but make a film about their lives because they know that people are still going to see it because it's about Steven Spielberg. That's what he should have done. Yeah. From my perspective.
And I mean, Banshees of Inisherin as well, Martin McDonagh, he did, so I mean, again, probably only a film we've seen is Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, so he's had like a good track record of like these Oscar nominations.
Did he win the Oscar? Did he win the directing Oscar for that?
I don't know that year. I feel like that year quite a lot of good films came out with Three Billboards, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Because I mean, you watch the film, it's almost like he has this, I don't want to say like cynical sense of style, but it is like this sort of bleak. I mean, it's much bleaker than Three Billboards was, because Three Billboards did have like scenes of much more like comedic stuff happening in it, but it's this sort of underlying thing of not everything's great in this world. People are sort of, they're not nice to each other, and it's not a very nice place to be sort of living. So he certainly has this sense of like style which carries through to his films, and it makes me want to watch like his because he did another film with Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell called In Bruges, which is meant to be really good. So like, I want to watch that, like sort of from watching Banshees, if it's just more of those guys, sort of those three people working together.
Yeah, but again, do we just think that Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win this? Do we feel like it's just going to literally win nearly everything that it's been nominated for, apart from when two people have been nominated in the same
I think it could very
category.
well do like a Parasite-esque situation where it could very... Is it nominated for Best Picture? I mean, I know we'll come around to that, but is it...
What, Everything Everywhere All at Once?
It's possible,
I think it is. Let me have a look. It's only on the bottom of the list. Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of the directing for that, it was these... So that's Daniel Kwan and Daniel... Scheinert. So it's sort of, you take a film with a budget of like 14 to, I think it's to 25 million, and then you turn around a box office of 100 million. Like it's always good when you get like a lower budget film do quite well. I mean, this one especially, like when it went to, streaming and stuff, like that's how we watched it, was sort of through word of mouth, and it's on.
I feel like it all was through word of mouth, isn't it? It was all just almost similar with Puss in Boots. I don't mean to keep going back to that. But do you not think it's the same thing? We literally everybody was talking about it, therefore we really want to watch it. And that's exactly the same with this film. It's just, everybody said it's so good. Yeah. But then everybody's gone to see it. You know?
No, exactly.
So,
and to be fair, it was a bit like that with Parasite as well. I remember when that first came out, because everyone was all like, there's this really like good film and like everyone needs to watch it. And then it got a lot of Oscar buzz. And then I think it came to our cinema and we watched it and like, oh my God, like it deserved it,
That is a fantastic film.
That is one that is omitted from the normal Oscar kind of nomination.
Because that's like, it's not even like an Oscar bait film where it's trying to have all these...
It's not.
It's just a genuinely
it is
just,
good film. Yeah. it's just pure talent, I think, for that
But we'll
film.
we'll have to do a whole separate episode on that one.
Yeah.
So best directing then, I guess. So we
I
think
think
probably
it's gonna
Everything
be
Everywhere
Everything
all at once.
Yeah, I think it will be
Of the
them.
ones that we've watched, obviously we can't really comment
on the
on
rest.
Tar, The Fabelmans, even then Triangle of Sadness, but you know,
I don't imagine that I'd
from-
like that
from the
film
ones-
very much.
Or Triangle of
I
Sadness.
feel like everything that we watch at the moment is just
Depressing.
really sad.
That is just the Oscars are a bit like that though. You can't have like a very.
I know, but I
good-
just feel like it's everything that we're watching. You know.
Yeah, I do
like,
agree. I mean, The Last of Us today. We watched that.
we watched
today,
The Last of
at
Us
time
episode 3,
recording.
which was sad. We watched Banshees, which was sad. We watched Pinocchio, which was sad. I can't remember what else, but I feel like everything that I'm watching
Yeah.
is just sad.
Megan wasn't that sad though, so.
No, that was
there we
great.
go.
Yeah.
We've got one thing that wasn't
Yeah.
sad.
What's next? So we were going to talk about. Were we going to talk about makeup because the Batman was there?
Yeah.
I think we just wanted to
We
bring
just wanted
attention
to.
the Batman.
We
didn't
just
we?
wanted to talk about the Batman, didn't we?
I'll go on a limb and say, can the Batman please win Best Makeup and Hairstyling, please? Just because of what they did to
Because
Colin.
of the black eyeliner.
No, because they managed to transform Colin Farrell into the Penguin.
Oh yes, no, I forgot about that.
The little bit they
eyeliner
put
is-
around the eyes, that was just that's the best I've ever seen.
Like that was brilliant. Like how they, when
That
you
is
watch,
amazing. Do you know what? I forget about that.
yeah, like when you watch the behind the scenes and it's like when they first put the makeup on, they got him to like FaceTime the director, and it was just him like performing this little bit.
And
it's
again,
like how it-
that's a testament to Colin Farrell as well.
Yeah.
Like having to act in all that. Like remember,
Yeah.
he's in there,
Yeah.
and that just goes to show what
Yeah.
a fantastic
Yeah.
actor he is as well.
Then it's the same for Brendan Fraser, though, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
he didn't
Yeah.
method act to that point, did he?
no.
No.
But
He
No, he was wearing a.
he did method
he
act,
was wearing a suit.
Yeah, which
A
again
fat suit.
that caused like a little bit of controversy about like people wearing fat suits in like films like today.
But I feel like he not got away with it, but he was saying, I technically was like he'd lost a lot of weight, hadn't he? So I think he was saying, yeah, I may not be that size now, but I
Yeah.
can still understand how it feels.
Yeah, I think
And
as long
that's
as
maybe
you pay respect to what you're depicting like on screen, it's not like
Yeah.
an Eddie Murphy like comedy film,
Yeah, as long as it's
Big
like
That's not Big Mama's House. Is not Eddie Murphy.
Oh, it's not, is it? Who's that?
It's Anyway,
Which
my
is the
point was
one
the Nutty Professor and Norbit are the Eddie Murphy films. Oh dear.
gosh,
Anyway, we'll digress.
But yeah,
I can't remember what we're talking about.
I mean, with that, I feel like it's just, they're actors at the end of the day. You can't expect, people like Brendan Fraser to put themselves on the verge of death for a
Yeah,
role. I mean,
exactly,
people like Christian
yeah.
Bale.
Me, I
will
was
do
he's
it.
not Christian.
I mean, we are not allowed to say that people should be losing weight for roles if people are going to criticise Kim Kardashian for losing weight. Yes, I'm bringing this up. Kim Kardashian lost a lot of weight in a short amount of time so that she could fit in Marilyn Monroe's dress for the Met Gala. And she did it and she looked fabulous. And everybody was saying, that sends a bad message to women and girls all over the world. Yet she said, if an actor was method acting, lost a lot of weight or gained a lot of weight for a role, that's just their process.
yeah.
It's exactly the same thing.
Oh, got very topical
That's
there.
all I'll say.
Yeah,
I'll
'cause
say
I feel
no
like-
more.
what's his name from The Gentleman? Charlie
Charlie Hunnam.
Hunnam. He had to do the same thing for one of his roles because he bulked up for, I think, Robin Hood. Was he in Robin Hood? Was he in one of the Robin Hoods?
Oh, you
Do you mean King Arthur?
King Arthur.
Yeah.
I think he did that, and then the role immediately after, he had I think he didn't eat for 10 days and dropped 10 pounds
Yeah.
for that role. So it's just
Yeah.
the things that actors have to do for their roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut them a little bit of slack if
Yeah.
they're trying to not if they're trying to do it tastefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't attack them for it. Kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think, to be fair, we're probably on to the
It's just
final.
on to Best Picture
We're
now.
on
It
the big
seems
one.
we've got onto and I feel like we've been talking for a very long time, so we probably should wrap this up
Rapid
now.
fire, rapid
Anyway, Best Picture. Right, let's read these out. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick,
What?
Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking.
You say what there, but
Top Gun
everyone loved Top Gun.
Yeah, but it's
Maverick.
not
We're the
like-
only people in the world who haven't
grossed
seen it, me and you.
so much money.
Yeah, I know, but it's not very often like that. Like a really popular film gets nominated.
That's
for,
a
like,
bit
an
out of
Oscar,
left
though.
field,
It's
isn't
not.
it?
Yeah, it'd be like them putting
Top
like,
Gun Maverick to win, guys. Come on.
Well, they put that there. They also got Avatar. That's a.
Yeah,
another
it is,
popular-
but then it's
Avatar's
also
a bit
like
different though, I think.
I think Avatar is different in a way because it's like, I mean, we missed over best visual effects because it's probably going to win that. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Oh yeah.
because it's got
Yeah.
state of the art visual effects. That's what sets it above like your other films are there.
Yeah, because I actually watched that one as well. I know
you haven't. Gee,
you didn't,
no.
but yeah, I mean the stuff that they managed to do is just incredible, really. Considering a lot of it is filmed underwater as well, and it's all the kind of mocap. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
is it still called mocap?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And it's all done by that, and you know it's just incredible what they managed to
Yeah.
do. And you can kind of understand why they've waited so long to bring this one out, because they've waited for the technology to catch up with them.
It has just, it has been technology.
And I mean, it's it's really incredible, and if that's the standard of kind of visual effects going forward, then that's going to be very exciting for the next era of films.
Because again, another film I did want to see, but then also 3 hours long, so it's a bit like, And to be fair, I wasn't too like thinking back on the first one. I wasn't too keen on the first.
Well, I
Avatar,
only
so-
ever watched the first one once. I saw it in the cinema, and that was it. I had no inclination to watch it again, so I feel like I might have to watch it and then watch the second one, because otherwise I'm just going to be like, hang on a minute, I've completely forgotten what's.
Yeah.
I was the exact same. I watched the first one, I think 4 days before I went and watched the second one in cinema, and it was a lot to have to do that in 1 week.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was a lot that I misremembered or didn't remember from my first experience of it, because when we watched it, I was like, what, 2009 it came out?
Yeah, I think
Don't
so.
even talk about how old you
I
would
was
have been
9
then,
years
because
old.
that is just, that scares me.
So yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
remember that, but
No.
rewatching it, and then watching this one again, because there's people like Sigourney Weaver who played
Love
her
Sigourney
role.
Weaver.
Brilliant, yeah.
Kate
the original.
Winslet's in it. Let's talk about
Kate
Kate
Winslet's
Winslet
in
and
it.
her breaking the record for holding her breath underwater.
Yeah.
That's another incredible thing, because her
Yeah.
and Sigourney Weaver, I think she held it for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver held it for 6 minutes.
Jeez.
And that's just incredible that actors are,
I just
like,
can't even.
Yeah.
can do that and act underwater for that amount of time.
Yeah.
I think it's just incredible.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should watch it then. Maybe we should
Yeah, I
make the
think
effort to go
it'll
see
go
it
on
in
Disney Plus
cinema.
soon enough, I think.
I'm sure it will, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, it will.
So-
It's probably made its money, and they can just, they can just hand it out for free now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
literally hand it out on the
So
street.
out of this list then, what do we think?
I don't know, actually.
I think it could be Everything Everywhere all at
I
once.
feel like it will be. I really do think that it will be.
It's got the most nominations at the Oscars. It just feels like one that could
Normally, if
just
something
trounce.
has a lot of has a lot of other nominations, it's sorry, that's Delilah barking at her little chew bone. Good girl. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once will get
Is that
every single Oscar.
Is that a consensus? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's certainly, it clearly has
Yeah.
the most nominations, I think, across the board. As for Best Picture, I don't know, because
But this is what I mean. I couldn't see it winning in every single other category, but as everything all together, it's not Best Picture for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else would be.
I feel like Top Gun Maverick has a real shot here, because I didn't watch it. I haven't even watched the original.
No, neither
But
have I.
the amount of people that came out and said this is like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen that, like, across the board consensus. Like,
I think most people are saying it was like a true return to cinema, like what cinema is. And like
Yeah,
Tom,
well, I feel like I said this in our first episode when we were talking about 2022. I said that people are saying that Tom Cruise is like the only, actor, like a filmmaker, basically. So, and I think that is true. So, I think it could be a bit of a left field, all
I
these
think-
people trying to do these deep and
Yeah.
meaningful films, and then you just,
Yeah, this category could be a bit of a free-for-all. I think it, there's a chance that it could be pretty much anyone on there.
yeah.
So, again, it'll be interesting to see what the...
Are we
board
actually going to sit
consensus
and
is.
watch it though,
It's
or
like
are we
on at
just
2
going to
o'clock in the
wait?
morning, I think, in the UK, because it's in the US.
Normally
like,
is,
yeah.
isn't it?
When do they normally play? Do they do it a weekend, or is it...
It's a Sunday, 12th of March. I think it's a Sunday.
Sunday.
It'll probably
So
be
it'd be
Sunday at
Sunday
midnight
night,
or something.
yeah, Sunday night, Monday morning, I reckon.
So
So
I think we'll just have to.
Yeah.
I'll just wait
Catch
for
it
it.
next day?
I'll just wait for it on Twitter. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
there'll be something on it.
I'm
but-
sure we can, if we do like an episode afterwards,
always
we'll just
come
do like
back
a quick
and-
recap and be like, oh, by the way, we were wrong. None of our films won that we thought would win. So there you go.
Yeah, but no, I think that was a good chat in there, guys.
Yeah.
And I think we'll leave it there. So I've been Tulip,
I've been Michael.
I've been Kieran.
and thank you for listening.